There is a DUI accusation going on. I'm sure everyone has heard about this already. We definitely have to talk about it. We also have an elderly couple that was hit by a scooter, not necessarily by Suga, but we'll talk about that. And then we have Jin talking about how he was disappointed on his show about something with his entertainment. So hey dumplies, it's Dave Disci. Let's get into it. There's a lot going on. There is definitely this DUI charge going on with Suga, and we need to get into it. First of all, if you're not familiar with what's going on, let's talk about it. Yesterday night, Suga left, I believe, a restaurant, or he was drinking at a bar or whatever it was, and he took his electric scooter. Now, he probably had a little bit more alcohol than he was supposed to. He said one drink, and this was confirmed by him, that he actually said that this happened. And then the label actually put out their own statement about this, which we'll get into all of that. He then, on his way driving home with his electric scooter, he fell over near the end, like when he was almost home, and a police officer had noticed him, requested for him to take a breathalyzer test, and he failed that. So I believe the standard in Korea is like 0.03 alcohol, and he scored, I think, 0.08%. So he was like more than double what the legal amount was. Now, a side note, why isn't it zero? It's kind of interesting to me. I don't know why we're allowing people to even just take like one shot and then drive, but that's a whole other story. This caused a lot of shock, and I'm sure it wasn't intended to be something that was super shocking. Now, a lot of people say that I like to defend BTS even in times in which there's nothing to defend. However, I'm not defending, and obviously I don't agree with this action. And before we get into it even more, I do have to say that people do bad things. Just because you do something bad does not mean you're a bad person. And people do bad things all the time. People are going to disappoint you all the time. So if this was like a family member that did this, and you know in your family member's heart if they're a good person or not, and then seeing them do something that is clearly bad, you're not automatically just going to think that they're a bad person. You're going to have a little bit more understanding. And I would say this is important to approach anyone who does anything bad. And I mean even people who end up in jail. While that's like a very extreme example, and obviously they did something really, really bad, but does that mean that their entire entity as a person is a bad person? No, and things are rarely ever this black or white. It's usually in the middle somewhere. So Suga probably felt like he was very close to home. He probably felt like he was only a few miles from home. Likely he probably went out after work, I'm assuming, and then didn't realize that the restaurant or the place that he was drinking at was much further from his home than he was thinking. And he was caught because he fell over towards the end, so obviously police might have thought he was drinking, and thus he obviously would get caught eventually. There are a lot of people who are saying that it's not that bad, and I will not lie. This is a pretty bad situation. Number one, it is against the law, and number B, an electric scooter can go up to 25 miles per hour depending on the scooter, and we don't know how fast he was actually going, but there have been traffic cameras or whatever that have been posted. Of course, we can't even really see if it's him, so it could be anyone, but people are saying that it's him because the timing, I guess, matches up. And obviously the police had to file a report with the time. So there's essentially trying to say that it matches up so that this scooter that's going by and is shooting through the video and it's blurry and it's him. So he is going fairly fast. This isn't like your normal scooter. This isn't like he was riding a bike after drinking, because as fast as a bike can go, it usually won't end someone's life, probably severely injure them at most, but it wouldn't kill them. And definitely wouldn't kill someone if it hit a car. While an electric scooter is a different story, going 25 miles an hour and can like very much dent a car. And cars have gotten into accidents even going that fast. And of course, a human, if it hits, would be injured at best. And he and his label have severely apologized for this. And at this point, there isn't much that is left to do. He got his license revoked, and he is currently serving his civil duty. So that means whatever the government offers him as punishment, he will likely take, and he would also have to take. This is very serious, but it doesn't mean that he's a bad person. I want to clarify that. Now, some people are twisting this to come up with a conspiracy that is beyond interesting, where they're trying to say that Min Hee Jin was the one who orchestrated this. When I heard this, I couldn't stop laughing because, first of all, there is a lot of sexism in this response, in this rumor, because it's trying to say that a woman is responsible for something that a man did. Now, the accusation revolved around Min calling the police, knowing that Suga had been drinking and essentially tried to get him arrested, with people saying that since he lives in a residential area, or at least he's believed to be living in a residential area, there wouldn't just be police officers hanging around. First of all, we don't know exactly where he lives. And if he does live in a super high-end area, at least the area that I'm assuming he lives in, I don't know exactly, But yes, there would be police officers patrolling that area. There's security in those gated communities every single hour of the day. Some of them are like legit police officers. They can arrest you. Also, we don't know how far he was. Was he in a neighborhood that was a little bit more shady, but needed to pass that neighborhood in order to get to his gated community? Because that happens all the time. Places like LA and even New York, you'll have like the wealth gap change per block, where you'll see one block that is full of rich people, and the next block is all homeless people, and the next block after that is all rich people. So to make up this rumor to say that this was all orchestrated and that Min even knew what Suga was doing is a bit crazy to me, because why on earth would she even care that he's going out drinking? And how would she then know that Suga would decide to take a scooter after? Now, I am trying to think of the mental health of someone. I have been around influencers who have been canceled, and the result has led them to do things that they wouldn't want to do. And this is for influencers, people who don't have a global audience, right? They're not super huge. They're not household names. When they do get backlash, there's still a way to run away from it or shut your phone off. But this story made mainstream headlines. So this is not something where Suga can just turn off his phone. I'm sure all his family members are reaching out. Obviously, the police had reached out, and the label is probably trying to figure out what they're going to do. And I'm sure he feels really bad. I'm sure he's not okay right now. And the last thing I want to hear from him is that he is kicking himself right now. And there's just a lot of stuff going on there. Some people have been scared that he will be removed from the BTS reunion, or the label might take more drastic action like that, given what's happened. However, we don't know, and I don't think that that would happen. I think they would try to figure out a way to come to any civil solution, and things can hopefully go back to normal. He didn't really hurt anyone, which I think does matter. This would have been a completely different conversation if he had ended up ending someone's life. I'm pretty sure he would have stepped away from the spotlight completely, and things would be very different. But since no one was hurt, I think this can just be a warning, and I don't mean from my opinion. I mean like it's probably going to be treated that way. But I'm not a lawyer. I don't know exactly what the laws are, and even if there's any leniency with certain things, right? But going back to his mental health just a little bit, I think a lot of people are trying to make it worse on purpose by bringing up stories in which people have passed away from electric scooters. So people have brought up a story where an elderly couple was hit and both of them had their lives taken. I'm sure this is to show the actual severity of the situation, and it's to bring two conversations about how severe something like this could be and how it could have ended up. But I don't think that this is necessary for him to see Suga, because he knows. He 100% knows. Police have probably told him. He has probably been scolded by the label. There's no way he doesn't know. For him to see that and for him to know that this is what the community might be thinking about him in this way hurts, because clearly he is not a bad person. He deserves a second chance in something like this. But going to slightly happier news, Jin has his Run Jin show that has recently come out, or at least another snippet has come out, and people have been very excited or screaming cute because we get to see Jin kind of freaking out and disappointed over his game losing battery. I think a lot of people just thought that this was super relatable, and they thought it was a moment in which they had done the exact same thing or felt the exact same way. It really goes to show that the boys are human. So definitely looking forward to seeing this show and getting to know Jin a little bit more. And I just kind of wanted to end this with a little bit of a happier note like this, and something that was a little bit more fun, because I think one of the things that we forget and when we see a celebrity do something is that they're a human being. They will smoke, they will have a relationship, they will do things like what Suga did, and that's what humans do. They make mistakes sometimes. Some mistakes are bigger than others. This is a really bad thing, and if someone did get hurt, it would be almost inexcusable. But luckily, no one did. This will serve as a warning. He will not ever forget this and do it again, because there's no way he would forget this because it was so loud. And if you do a bad thing, it does not mean you're a bad person, and I hope people remember that. I really do, because everyone, myself, any person you watch on YouTube, and on a much larger scale, any K-pop star that you like, they will inevitably make a mistake, and they will inevitably disappoint you. It does not mean they're a bad person, they just did a bad thing. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks, just leave a comment right here. Love you, bye.